Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and it looks like there has been some leaks. So these started popping up last night and I'm not sure if other people have been covering or not, and yes, I'm kind of late, but let's be honest, after yesterday I wanted a break, so I went out with some friends. So yeah, anyways, so loading screens have come out with character names. Interesting. Pretty much just kind of confirming what lords we've been expecting and what lords we kind of theorized. Mostly because this kind of happens a lot with Creative Assembly. They bring out builds that have stuff that isn't really known just yet. If you're not very new to the series and you've been here for a while, a few years and all that, you've noticed this happen a lot. The most recent time was actually when Boris got accidentally leaked on a loading screen once again through a tooltip. That was even before we knew that we were getting Boris, which is interesting, but yeah. Anyways, let's talk about them in general. So there's a few that have been popping up through Reddit, forums and all that, and what you might notice is that they are linked up to army books mostly. Well, yeah, the characters themselves come from the army books originally, but what I mean is that they're doing the whole copy-pasting directly from the army book, which I think is kind of nice. It brings back some old lore that people might not know. For example, the Azazel one, which we'll talk about now, is focused around the 5th edition stuff, and I love that book so much, so you know. So like I said, there's two for Azazel, which is the first one, which is the army book entry. At the Battle of the Moors, a force of zealous Templars of Ulrich had made vows before the flame of Ulrich in Middenheim that they would banish Azazel or perish trying. Yet, before the battle ended, the Templars had been reduced to gibbering imbeciles, slaves to the slightest whim of Azazel. He set collars around their necks and made them walk on all fours like dogs to amuse his patron Sinesh. So yeah, this is the one that is directly linked to the army book, which if you haven't read it, you should. It's really good. It's a good book. And the second is dialogue, which is the thing that just kind of confirms characters anyway, because we don't normally have stuff that outright confirms a character. They do put hints every now and then, but this one is just outright just saying, you know, this is dialogue. So how gloriously desperate you must be to petition for my aid. I find your doom extremely arousing. Azazel, Prince of Damnation. So yeah, that sorts out for Azazel. I think that's a really good thing because, like you guys know, I've been waiting for this character a long time. So if this is the case and it's not just something to throw us off, I am going to be absolutely ecstatic. Like, you know, ecstatic legions. And if it is Azazel, this is definitely going to be the first character I play for Immortal Empires. Like, no questions about it. Then we've got one for Festus, and I've been told that there might be another one out there, but I'm really bad at navigating through Reddit because I don't really use that, so I couldn't find it. However, this one's pretty cool. Once again, another army book entry. Festus was once a good man, a great one even. He was a skilled Charagon who founded hospices all across Nordland, as compassionate as we... Okay, it looks like there's a spelling mistake here, but then again, this is probably from an early build, and they're probably just fixing that, but it's supposed to be as compassionate as he was gifted. Nurgle turned that compassion against the good doctor. When Festus could not find a cure for the gnashing fever, he was forced to see his patients die in the most horrendous ways. He pleaded for a cure, for the knowledge to heal this and every disease, and grandfather gleefully obliged. In but a moment, his mind was flooded with knowledge that drove him mad and washed away empathy, leaving only a desire to experiment and test the new lore he has been gifted. So yeah, this is another entry from his army book. I think this is the direct entry from the 8th edition one. Most of my books are right now in a storage unit because I've been getting my setup done here for the battle reports. So yes, they're coming, guys. It's just... it's been a while. But yeah, no, this is big lore. This is peak lore for Festus. This is the most important stuff. It just goes under his origin story of a fall to chaos. And I think this is really, really important. Again, they wouldn't really put this in-game if it wasn't for the fact that they have him planned. So yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm pretty excited. Festus has been an interesting character. He's had new lore lately too, so it all kind of linked up to the DLC. I'm not too sure if that was kind of planned with Cubicle 7 or it was just a happy accident, but these things kind of do happen sometimes. Then we've got one for Valkyrie the Bloody, so this is rather simple, rather small. Don't look up, you fool. The Gore Queen patrols the sky looking for prey. Keep your eyes on the ground and pray to all you consider holy that she doesn't find us interesting. A Kislevite Corsair 50 leagues north of Prague, which kind of makes sense because she has, well, near northern parts of Kislev, in the borders where the Norscan territories are. She's known to be there. It's a very strange thing because she was everywhere in lore, essentially, but then again, she kind of just goes out to lead an unholy crusade in the name of Khorne. But she did have a fortress in some location. It's just the lore has always been a bit weird because, well, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Let's be honest. Games Workshop are very inconsistent, so lore changes often, and sometimes it changes back to the original lore right after the change. It's a really strange thing. But yeah, this mentions her directly because that's her title, the Gore Queen, and, well, we know that it's kind of linked to a previous link too, so yeah. Now, lastly, we do have one that links up to Village the Cursing, and this one's really, really interesting for a number of reasons. So at the siege of Brillion Castle, Archaon was in search of the Crown of Domination. The Twisted Twin had made a bargain. Should the Swords of Chaos break the siege, he would reveal where the crown was hidden. It was Jarkil, the puppeteer, a loyal servant of Archaon's, who slew the Bretonnian warden, Baron Lucius. Jarkil was using his influence to control a slaughter brute that mauled the Baron. However, the slaughter brute then turned upon the Baron, plucking a bodyguard from his saddle and ripping them in half. Then, running amok amongst the Swords of Chaos, in the corner of Archaon's eye, he saw the magnitude of the betrayal as Jarkil's dead body slid from the end of Village's sword. Okay, so this goes to Village the Cursing. As you can imagine, this is the character that we're very much expecting because once again it was linked up to the previous leak, but then also a Slaughter Brute, which I think is the first time it's been mentioned in any of these tooltips and all that type of stuff. So possibly this DLC might introduce a Slaughter Brute unit, which is going to be kind of cool. They're a nice model. Hopefully that means because it will likely share the same rigging as the Mutilative Vortex Beast, maybe that. We don't know just yet. We don't know exactly what's coming with this DLC, because they've been very, very secret. Well, secret despite, you know, the leaks everywhere, but maybe it's only a matter of time until stuff gets leaked for that. You never know. Still, Village is very exciting because he's a very popular character, funny enough. He was very, very popular in lore, so much so that they kind of just, like, cloned him in a sense. It's not really a true clone, but his model is just being used as a lord for Age of Sigmar, and now they've updated that model because it's just a bit of a classic. I mean, it's just that well liked. It must have sold very well for GW to do that. Now, you'd think we'd be done, but another one has popped up, curiously enough. He rides upon the Hound of Khorne. He wields the Blood God's Destroyer. Never has he suffered defeat, and his followers call his name after every glorious feat. Arbel, Arbel, Arbel. So yeah, this links up to Arbel the Undefeated, but the difference is that this is the only one that says unknown, which for me states maybe we won't see this character, maybe he's FLC, but anytime we've seen something that references something and it's always unknown, it usually is maybe this is coming in the future. I know it sounds weird, but it's always like with this whole thing that Creative Assembly have a very common way to do hints for future stuff, and it's just so predictable. I don't know. I don't see Arbel coming anytime soon. It would be cool, but I have a feeling that he'll likely be like a Norscan legendary lord or something, because we're expecting the next pack that isn't the Chaos Dwarves to be Norska. There's going to be a lot of Chaos fatigue. You know, there's going to be a lot of Chaos fatigue. But it just kind of makes sense to have the Norska rework too, because that means, you know, just get it out of the way, and then everyone's at a pretty good place, and then they can just focus on fixing everything else as they go, or just adding to everything else, better yet said. I don't know. I could be wrong. This could be FLC, and it would be interesting, but I kind of doubt it. However, well, now we pretty much know the others, unless Arbel replaces Valkyrie, but I imagine that that would make a lot of people angry, so yeah, I don't think Creative Assembly is that stupid. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I want to have a little proper discussion about it and just talk, because this is really, really curious. So yeah.